Hi, Dmitry Bonder there. There is a moment in your life when you're thinking what is better, PlayStation or Xbox? Let me know in your comments what is really better. But today we will speak about slightly different topic. We will speak about investing for teenagers. I was born in ex-Soviet Union country, Ukraine. In 1982, nobody knew about Robinhood application, WeBull, M1 Finance or investment in general. We only knew about the Communist Party and how to live from paycheck to paycheck. My parents were workers with a lower than average salary. They never read books about investing and never told me about dividends, IPOs or shorting Tesla. It was 1982, no fancy mobile apps, no YouTube videos like this. All that was available for you was called the biggest state bank in the USSR, Sberbank, literally the state saving bank. Since that moment, almost 4 decades have passed. Now I'm a father of 3 teenagers. They live in the US and can invest as soon as Robinhood or any other investment platforms allow them. And they have to be 18-year-old or older and have a valid social security number. This video for my kids and other teenagers, millennials and TikTok holders who soon will start investing and want to be wealthy millionaires till 62 on their retirement. So advice number 1, start sooner rather than later. If you're a teenager and start investing today, you'll be getting a big jump on where your finances should be when you are an adult, even with a modest gains. If you as a teenager or a children wind up not needing the money for educational or early career expenses, they could be also benefit from living from investments to grow. A $5 daily investment from birth through the age of 18 could be worth $2 million by age 67. In other words, your child could eventually become millionaire without even investing any of their own money. Let me tell you the story. There are 2 teens, Jack and Blake. When Jack turned 21, he decided to start investing $200 a month every year for 9 years. At the age of 30, he decided to stop investing altogether. But his friend Blake started a little later, investing $200 a month every month starting at the age of 30, all the way until the ripe old age of 67. So at the age of 67, who do you think had more money in their account? Let's do the math. At the end of 9 years, Jack invested $21,600 and ended up with a more than $2.4 million. Let's say that again, $2 million. That's the power of compound interest, my dear friends. And Jack's friend Blake invested a whopping $91,200 over the course of 37 years. At the age 67, he had built up $1.4 million, but he never caught up with Jack. So how did Jack do it? He didn't invest nearly as much as Blake did, but ended up with over 1 million more. That's the power of compound interest. So what is a compound interest, my dear teenagers? Let me explain. Compound interest or compounding interest is the interest on a loan or deposit calculated based on both the initial principal and the accumulated interest from previous periods. Thought to have originated in 17th century in Italy, compound interest can be thought as a kind of interest on interest and will make a sum grow at a faster rate than a simple interest, which is calculated only on the principal amount. So that's why it's so important to start investing as soon as possible and don't take it till your retirement. Okay, advice number 2, how to open account as a teenager. Before you start calling up stockbrokers, be aware that there is one basic problem with being a teenage investor. You can't open your own brokerage account. There are a lot of investing apps that look perfect for teenagers, for example my lovely Robinhood, but you still need to be at least 18 years old to participate in this investment game. This restriction unfortunately is a legal requirement specific to the investment industry and there is no way around it. at least not directly. If you want to be a teenage investor, and you absolutely should if you can, ask your parent or guardian to set up a custodial investment account. You'll have time to learn the investment ropes and build up a small portfolio. They will give you a kind of head start when you reach adulthood. And if you find investing to be interesting, you can check out a full how to invest guide for beginners and go pro a little bit later when you will be 18 or 21 years old. By the way, I read a story about a student from a North Carolina high school who scored headlines back in 2018. He didn't become famous for winning a football championship or starting in the school playing, but making a 17,000 by betting on a Tesla stock rise. He also earned 14,000 by investing in a Google and additional 5,000 on Netflix. Here is what this young genius did. He invested in using a custodial account opened and maintained by his dad. These accounts let invest you through an adult. When you are 18 or 21 years old, depending on your state laws, the account will revert to your name, but then you'll be able to set a fly solo. Okay, advice number 3. How custodial accounts work for teenagers. A parent or guardian opens a custodial account for you and then gives funds into your account. For 2012, up to 15,000 can be gifted into a custodial account. Once the funds are in the account, you can begin investing this money. Of course, your parents or guardian will have to make the actual trades for you. Then will retain management control over the account, and as a teenager, you aren't allowed to contact the account broker to execute your trades. However, you can be a part of an investment process. You can create a portfolio allocation and select asset classes or even a specific investments. Once you reach the legal age in your state, the account's ownership will convert to you. With the experience that you hopefully gain through the custodial arrangements, you should fully manage the account going forward. I think it's a great idea to start for you as a teenager. If you're investing for the long game, and thanks to compound interest that I explained before, you can get an individual retirement account set up as well. These are known as IRS, and not many people know that you can get one of these when you are a teenager. Compound interest is like a gift that keeps on giving. Over time, it lets your money snowball and accumulate. Let's say you contribute 5,000 per year to traditional IRA and ages 15, 16 and 17. You'll have a 60,000 in the account. Now let's say you make no further contributions for the rest of your life. You could have about $700,070 by the age of 67. The expected age of a full retirement if account has an average rate of return about 8% per year for the next 50 years. Wow! By the way, in 2012, a teenager can contribute up to 6,000 of their earnings each year to traditional IRA. The investment earnings in your IRA will accumulate on a tax-deferred basis. But there are some benefits before you reach retirement age. For example, you can make a penalty-free withdrawal to buy your first home. I think it sounds really exciting. Okay, the next question you may have: where to invest as a teenager? It's a difficult question, but let me explain. In my opinion, as a father of 3 kids and investor, the easiest way to start investing start with a stock or index funds. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to start investing in stocks. In fact, by researching stocks and selecting which one to invest in, you'll learn a lot about how the stock market works. Choose a company that you enjoy and most importantly trust. It's fun to be able to say that you own a part of stock like McDonald's or let's say Walt Disney, but these have historically been steady earners too, some of them called dividend aristocrats because they have been producing stable dividend income for many years. For example, you can try to invest in a few stocks on the dividend aristocrat list. There are names you'll recognize such as Coca-Cola or Target or Walmart. These are companies that have proven histories of increased dividend payouts from year to year. That means on top of the gains you'll get when you eventually sell the stock, you also receive a cash distributions on a quarterly or annual basis. This is a great start of your investment strategy. Okay, let's be honest, investing in a stock you just like is not the best strategy, but you can quickly improve your investment strategy if you will be investing in index funds. Okay, what is an index fund and why every teenager has to know about it? An index fund is a type of fund constructed to match or track the components of a big, famous, reliable financial market indexes, for example, such as S&P 500. An index is said to provide broad market exposure, low operating expenses, and low portfolio turnover. It's like if you're doing and copying the best student of your class. What he or she is doing. At least it's the easiest strategy to be not too worse than the best student in your school. Index funds are generally considered ideal core portfolio holdings for retirement accounts, such as individual retirement accounts, IRAs, and 401k accounts, it's for employers' retirement plans. By the way, legendary investor Warren Buffett has recommended index funds as a heaven for savings for the later years of your life. Rather than picking out individual stocks for investment, he has said it makes more sense for the average investor or teenager to buy all of the S&P 500 companies at the low cost an index fund offers. There are plenty indexes funds you can buy as a teenager and hold forever. For example, Russell 2000, made up of a small cap company stocks that are growing very fast, or Wilshire 5000 Total Market Index, the largest US equities index, or Barclays Capital US Aggregate Bond Index, which follow the total bond market. So you see, there are a lot of different indexes you can start invest immediately when you set up your investment account. And the last advice that I found very important for teenagers: use micro savings applications. With these services, you can save and invest the change from every purchase is made with your debit card. I think it's a great way for teenagers to stay focused and don't spend all the money on a new Sony PlayStation or Xbox. So let's say you buy a soda and a bag of chips every day after school for $2.60. You can set up the micro savings app to round up to the nearest dollar, so 32 cents will automatically be invested in your account. Sure, that's a tiny amount of money, but when it's done 20 days a month, that turns into more than $6 per month. That can add up over time, and you can invest that money for bigger gains. For example, Acorns is a particularly good micro savings app for teenagers. There are no minimum amount required to start saving, and there are ways to save extra money for you. Your parents can set up account for themselves and for you for only $5 a month with the Acorns family account. I will leave a registration link for you in the description of this video, and you can try this beautiful app. Okay guys, I hope you like this video and you're ready to sell your Xbox or PlayStation 5 and invest all your money in Tesla stock. I'm kidding. Enjoy the best years of your life, but start thinking about your future today.